Hello! So something that I dreamed of doing with this channel is to introduce people to what it means to be deafblind. Now, because it's new to me, you are getting a kind of like crash course in deafblindness, as I get a crash course in deafblindness. And I'm making these videos kind of as I'm learning, so these are very like on the go. And something that I've really been struggling with since the onset of my hearing loss has been socializing. So today I want to talk about some of the ways that I've been kind of dealing with this. So at first I did what everyone does when they experience a sensory loss, and that was to isolate myself. I had just moved here to New Jersey, so I didn't really know anybody. So going to events where I wasn't going to be able to hear or see people was truly terrifying to me. And I think I started to venture out sometime in August or September when I started to work with an orientation and mobility instructor who taught me how to cross street safely and to get around with my new hearing loss. And most of the social activities for a while I did with a friend of mine who took ASL with me last summer. Shout out, by the way, because she's fantastic. And she's been a great support in helping me socialize again. And in the last couple months, I've really been working on expanding my little tiny social circle. Now, I'll be honest, I do still have some anxiety when I do go certain places. These places tend to be where there's going to be limited hearing potential for me. So if I go to an amusement park, or if I go to the beach, or something where there's very low lighting or difficult lighting, and there is poor hearing quality, the anxiety only gets upped when I'm going with people who don't know American Sign Language, because my fallback communication isn't there, so that means I might have to rely on print on palm or pop. So for me, the hardest part about learning how to be deafblind has been navigating these social settings and accommodating for myself. Something I knew how to do as a blind person, but not necessarily with the dual sensory loss. And I'm not going to say that everyone is always going to be super accommodating, because not all people are accommodating in all situations. So this week I went really outside of my comfort zone and I went to a friend's birthday party, and where we were going to all go out for ice cream and then go to a bowling alley. Now, I know that my friends are always willing to help me and willing to accommodate for me, but I also know that this is a birthday party where people might get drunk, where there's a lot of noise, where I wasn't going to be able to hear anything. And right now I still get very overwhelmed and very agitated if I am not able to keep up with what's going on, and I'm still prone to having panic attacks in specific situations, and I kind of thought bowling might be one of them. So I decided that for ice cream I was going to be fine and just go with my friends, and then for the second half I was going to seek out an SSP, or support service provider, to go bowling with me and act as a communication support. So they know ASL, so even though I couldn't hear because the music and the noise was overwhelming my hearing aids, you know, I had an ASL person there to support me, to help me communicate with my friends, to tell me what the bowling scores were, to tell me who was up next, when my turn was, who was doing what the group next to us was doing. Just all of that little bit of information. My SSP was there to support me and to give me that information. So I was really able to be present and there for my friend's birthday party in a way that I felt meaningful, and I had fun, and I'm so happy that I went. We experience a loss in a sense, or any sudden onset of disability, you know, it's not a marathon, it's not a sprint, it's slowly increasing our ability to do things. Now, I've managed to get to a point where I can maintain a lot of my work skills, so I can go into work settings and meetings and things like that, and that's great for me. And where the things that have lagged behind for me is really socializing. And you know what, that's okay. And if you are supporting somebody who is going through a sensory loss, and you're noticing like, oh, that's weird, like they're really good in this one area, but they're still really anxious in this other area, you know what, that happens. There's going to be an uneven amount of confidence, because you can't work on everything all at once. For me, the big deal was getting back to employment, so of course that's what I worked on first, whereas socializing kind of took a back seat. So, you know what, if you are supporting somebody, just be that support person for them. If they say, hey, this might be too much for me, don't push too hard. If you think they really can handle it, say, you know what, I'm going to go with you, we'll be there together. Try to make it comfortable, but don't push them. Because eventually it all evens out and it does get better. I hope you liked this video. Please remember to subscribe, like on Facebook, follow on Twitter, all that jazz, and I will see you later.